Yo, what is up, everybody? Back again. Y'all already know what
Nail,
it is.
play that shit.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, man, this man got the background.
You already know, man! Easy money. Well, it should be easy money, but like
Look,
I
knock
said,
on wood.
Look at the rookies we drafted. We got Dean and we got Davis. Two Jordan. It doesn't get better than that shit.
you gotta put that shit up.
As Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first,
You're
you're
last.
last.
Exactly.
Second place is at 2.
Definitely gonna make up for it.
Trust me. I need a sports podcast, man. I need it. Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the I Need a Sports Podcast. Your host, my dog Cam, myself, Bryce. And man, oh man, it was a nail biter. But when I tell y'all from the very start, from the jump, I told y'all, if there's one man that's going to find a way to get the job done, it's that boy Patrick Lavon Mahomes the second. Man, we put out a thriller, finally beat Cincy. Dear God, well, thank God, because I didn't want to see social media if we would have lost to them for a fourth time. It was going to go crazy. Boys made it to the Super Bowl, man. I called it. I got an NFL future riding, betted preseason. I think we were plus 900. So that's still waiting. Who knows if it hit? Patrick MVP, threw some money on that preseason at plus 750 odds. That should be a certified lock. Granted, Jalen Hurts had a great season, but he went out and Patrick Mahomes still did his thing. If he don't win the MVP, I mean, people talking about the NFL rig. What are we gonna say then?
Patrick Mahomes looking at his script.
What the hell? I did all this. Man, but yeah, man. So got that. That should be cash. Hopefully, my Chiefs cash out and win the Super Bowl, man. But got a tough opponent in the Eagles, who they waxed the 49ers. They did, but I mean it wasn't really a game because the 49ers ran out of quarterbacks, which really sucks. But yeah, man, we're about to dive into these NFC and the AFC championship game. A little breakdown analysis of how we think the weekend went down, and then we won't talk about the Super Bowl for real yet. We'll talk about, we'll touch on it a little bit here and there, but we're gonna save that episode for next week. We're gonna bring our guy Cam back on. As y'all know, he's an Eagles fan. He called this matchup Eagles versus Chiefs. Of course, he got his Eagles winning. So we're gonna have a nice little healthy debate. I'm sure it's gonna get a little crazy on that episode, talking about the Super Bowl. But yeah, man, let's start off first with the first game of the afternoon. San Francisco versus Philadelphia. Now, going into this, I thought it was gonna be a close game. And if Brock Purdy doesn't go out, it probably is a close game because 49ers defense was playing pretty good. They just weren't getting any help. And then on top of that, they had a bunch of stupid penalties, man. But Brock Purdy comes in the game undefeated, Mr. Relevant turned relevant. And unfortunately, he got the worst injury you can have. What people feared Josh Allen had earlier in the season, he actually has it. He came out yesterday. He has a torn UCL, and it looks like what they were originally saying might take 6 months. I think they got a second opinion today. He's going to need surgery, and they said he's going to be out a whole year. So it looks like it is. When we thought it wasn't going to be Trey Lance season, we thought Brock Purdy, won the job. Now it looks like it's probably back to Trey Lance season. And one of my, I guess, theories or, things I thought was possible, and I've been talking to Cam about it the past couple weeks, I thought Brady might go to San Francisco because they were so desperate if they didn't win a Super Bowl this year. And then obviously, especially the way they just lost the championship game, losing all their quarterbacks, I thought, they got a team with hella talent, perfect for Brady. He could just step in, Shanahan system. All they need is a good QB. And this morning, the man finally retired officially. I know Cam, he was praising the Lord this morning. Finally, man. You glad to see him out the league? It's what, 23 years?
Man, am I happy, boy. When I seen that video, that message, I thought at first I thought it was gonna be like a little prank at the end, saying like, "Nah, I'm playing. I'll be back." But man, it was just beautiful to see. But I'm not gonna slander him, man. You know, he one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, easily top five. Um, a lot of people like him. I don't really like him that much, but I mean, you got to give him his respect because I don't think we'll ever see a quarterback do what he did, as in like longevity wise, and as in win all those, well, having chances to win that many Super Bowls, putting his team in, that position to win that many Super Bowls. So so yeah, I mean, no slander for me. It's just coming to reality that he's finally gone. But yeah, like I said, he's easily top 5, top 3 quarterbacks of all time. Easily first ballot Hall of Famer. But yes, he needs to wait like everybody else.
Yeah, they talking about maybe they should just make a rule and just let him go in right now. Like,
no, like let's calm down. Let's wait. He has to wait just like everybody else. But yeah, man. I mean, I guess he has to be greatest of all time because like the guy we sent in the Twitter group message, he was basically saying, he would call him the GOAT because of longevity pretty much, and seven Super Bowls, no one ever do it. But he also was saying he wasn't the greatest regular season quarterback ever. That was Peyton. That's Peyton Manning, and when you think about it, yeah, that was Peyton Manning, and he wasn't really the greatest playoffs quarterback or Super Bowl quarterback. That was Joe Montana. And we really think about it, yeah, it kind of was.
Damn near perfect passer rating, no yeah. Interceptions through 4 Super Bowls is crazy.
Crazy numbers. But yeah, man, shout out to Tom Brady, man.
Yeah, no, a literally legendary career. I mean, of course, we'll have to wait to see how some of these other careers play out with these younger generation QBs, but I've been seeing a lot of I guess comparisons to Tom Brady as kind of our generation's Bill Russell, where he's not the most talented player. He's not necessarily the best player, but he's the most winningest player, and that kind of makes him the best in this competitive spirit. And he kept going 23 years. Like, I'm 24, you 22. Yeah, like we don't know the NFL without Tom Brady. Like literally. So next year is gonna be a little weird because
it's gonna be definitely weird.
I mean, I guess he's gonna be on the Fox booth, broadcasting. We'll see how that goes. But as far as looking at games and not seeing Tom Brady out there, it's literally gonna be new. We've never seen it before, but definitely not in a mean way, but glad to see him finally going from the league so he can quit tormenting us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always in the back of your head, like, man, just something fall the right way. Tom might mess around and win another Super Bowl.
Literally every time.
Another great thing about his career was, I mean, he essentially had 3 Hall of Fame careers throughout his 20s, 30s, and 40s. His 20s, I was watching First Things First today, and Nick Wright had graphics, and I wish I could pull them up. But he was basically saying, like, in his 20s, he had those 3 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He wasn't the Tom Brady we know yet back then, but he did that to start off his career. That's essentially Troy Aikman's whole career. He accomplished the same thing. Then his 30s, even though he didn't win a Super Bowl till the end of that, and he had that whole, I guess, decade time frame where they didn't win a Super Bowl. He won 2 MVPs. He had 2 Super Bowl appearances, and he led the league in yards and touchdowns a few times. They compared that to, I think that one was Joe Montana. Or no, the latter part was Joe Montana, because then that after that decade, he won 4 Super Bowls, 2 with the Patriots or 3 with the Patriots, and then that last one with the Bucks. And it's really, I mean, it's truly amazing what he did. And we probably won't see another person like that in our lifetime. Right now, my God, Patrick Mahomes.
I say we don't know yet.
If he can get the Super Bowl, I mean, that's a big if. It's gonna be a tough game. He'd be on track, but at the same time, I mean, I'd love to see Patrick Mahomes play 23 years in the Chiefs uniform, but are we gonna get that? I don't know. I don't know. Like it's crazy because a lot of what I've also just been thinking about is like Tom Brady kind of ruined our perspective on other quarterbacks. Like, what he did is so unimaginable. We're kind of putting stupid standards across the board for everybody else. Like Kurt Warner, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, who else? Steve Young. Steve Young thought about arguably as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time too. They all have 1 Super Bowl. That's it.
Which is crazy. And like they all of them are like great, like
and they're thought of that in that line. But now it's like I threw Aaron Rodgers in, but nowadays with all the media, like Aaron Rodgers, you say Aaron Rodgers, oh, he had 1 Super Bowl, and it's like, man, he wasted his career.
Yeah.
Like Mahomes, he's already had 1 Super Bowl, lost to Tom Brady another one. Now he's in his 3rd. If we lose, knock on wood, because we're gonna win this thing. But if he lose, just imagine the media there's like, man, is he a failure of a quarterback? And it's like, do any other quarterback now that Tom Brady's retired? No other quarterback in the league has been to a Super Bowl twice on any NFL roster. I'm pretty sure. At least like starting quarterbacks. I don't know. Maybe there's a backup on the roster somewhere. But I'm pretty sure nobody else has been to 2 Super Bowls. Joe Burrow has been the one. Matt Stafford has been the one. Now Jalen Hurts will be the one. Jimmy Garoppolo, I guess, has been the multiple. But he's been the one as a starter. So like, but people will start labeling like Patrick Mahomes like, oh, is he a choker? It's like if Josh Allen don't make it to 1, it's like, man, he's a Phillip Rivers. Like I've been seeing that comparison. It's crazy what he did to what we think of the standard, but it's like what he did is unreal. 10 Super Bowls, 7 wins. Like it really, there's no words for it. And the joke, Peyton Manning always says like, thank God for his mom and Archie Manning, because without them, Tom Brady would have 10 Super Bowls probably.
Yeah, probably.
Peyton Manning stopped him from getting some.
Stopped him, yeah.
And then Eli Manning, of course, beat him in 2 of them. So, yeah, man, great career. Tip caps off to him. Obviously, you know, he's literally caused my team to lose 2 Super Bowls. 1 in the Super Bowl, prevented us from making it to it in 2018. So, hate his guts when we're playing him, but definitely respect him, man. So, shout out to the GOAT. And what a legendary career, literally. Can't wait to see him get into the Hall of Fame 2028 because that's obviously without a doubt. And honestly, I'm excited to see how he is as a sports analyst. I really don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah, I don't know how either. But I mean, if you look at it, I mean, some quarterbacks that retired and went to broadcasting, they actually doing pretty decent right now.
Oh yeah,
a few of them.
I mean, if he can be like a kind of like a hybrid of Tony Romo and Greg Olsen, who's pretty good now, who knows? But yeah, definitely great to see. And I mean, that was a little tangent. We'll get back to the game now. But yeah, we just had to touch on that because that news just dropped this morning. So of course that's been all sports media today is Tom Brady, his legacy, this, that, and third. And rightfully so. So of course we had to bring it up on the podcast. Back to the 49ers. So Tom Brady out, Brock Purdy out, Trey Lance in. I mean, it sucks because they literally have all the talent in the world, and they just got the most unlucky draw ever. Brock Purdy goes out in the first quarter. Not to mention, I wanted to get your opinion on this too, because Brock Purdy got injured on their first drive of the game. But right before that, of course, Jalen Hurts, it was 4th and 3. They throw that long pass to Devontae Smith, and what looks like a catch really wasn't a catch, but it doesn't get reviewed. Shanahan doesn't throw the challenge, and then the Eagles march it in and get a touchdown. But I mean, the refs get that right for one. that could change the game. But Shanahan should have thrown the challenge. Like, you see everybody rushing up to the line, that should kind of trigger you, like, hey, maybe I should throw this. Like, because that's obviously a big point in the game to start off with. And if they would have thrown the challenge, they get the ball at the 40-yard line, and they might be able to go score, and it might be a whole different tone of the game. Maybe Brock Purdy never gets hurt, but it's just another kind of, I guess, chapter in the book of Shanahan choking on big games. I know he's a great coach, great offensive mind, but I mean, when it comes to the big games, it seems like some of the decisions he makes always end up costing him or coming back to bite him in the end. So, are you still? I mean, I know you're a big fan of Shanahan, but if they're not able to get a Super Bowl, within the next 2 years or so, does San Francisco have to look? You think maybe, hey, like, we respect you, you're a great coach, but this obviously isn't working. You think they're gonna have to explore new options?
Maybe so. I would say not if they keep getting close to the Super Bowl, I don't think he'll lose his job. But let's say if they get close next year and the following year they go like 8-9 or like 7-10 or whatever, then maybe I can see them going a different direction. But it's just so hard for them to go in a different direction when he's literally like top 3 head coaches in the league. Probably one of, if not him, maybe McVay or Andy Reid. They, one of the best offensive minded coaches in the league. So I don't know. It's kind of tough to tell right now. Right now I would say no, because if you look at his resume is, I mean, it's pretty record wise, it's pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just, them big games, I feel like that fourth down, obviously, like, if everybody's rushing to the line and you got Devontae Smith doing this, like, hurry up pretty much. I mean, you gotta throw the flag to at least look at it. Like, just at least look at it. Like, it's the first half. Like, that one timeout, if it don't even, like,
Yeah, it's not going to be that big a deal, and you'll still have one challenge in your back pocket left if that one goes wrong.
Literally.
But at the same time, because this was also a big topic, especially after my Chiefs game, the refs this weekend were bad everywhere, both ways. Of course, Cincy fans are going to say they were completely, bad for my Chiefs, and we'll touch on that later.
We'll touch on that because
they crying, but the thing with that is, and I think they had this in the XFL, I want to say, when it was on. I remember seeing it on TV. They had this thing where, like, when a controversial play happens, they literally had a guy sit in a room with the Xbox that had multiple screens and a controller, and he could rewind, press pause, and like, hey, let me radio down. Y'all need to go look at that. And it was a great idea. The NFL has that, but it's like there's no set protocol when these refs when that ref radios in, and it's like, we should really be utilizing that more. So one, coaches don't have to sometimes waste challenges, because we had to do that in our game. Another topic I'll touch on, but they're saying, Eagles rush so quick they didn't get a chance to see the other camera angle that clearly shows the ball being out. And when it happened, I literally texted in one of my group chats. I was like, it was a group chat with Cam. I was like, he was cheering and hyped up, and I was like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I really don't think Devontae caught that, because I could see the ball disappear on the original angle, even though nobody else seemed to catch that. And then when they reversed it and showed the other way, and it was like too late, but it's clear as day. But if someone's sitting in a room with 50 different cameras with all the angles of the game, they should be able to spot, like, see that and immediately radio down, buzz in, whatever you got to do, and tell everyone else, like, hey, let's go review that, because this is a pivotal play in a pivotal game. This is the NFC Championship. Like, there's no excuse for that. And hey, props to the Eagles, because I mean, they practiced that, and hey, Devontae Smith got up. I guess this was the signal. They got to the line, ran a play. Shanahan didn't throw a flag, so I mean, it's not their fault it happened, but no, that the refs definitely need to step it up. And I mean, these refs are part-time refs. And I've been seeing a lot of people say, like, we really need to move to just full-time refs. That way, this is their one job. They focus on this. They train on this all year long. And it's not like Oh,
Like
like
part-timers?
yeah, like these
I
refs are
didn't know that.
part-time refs. They have like once football season over with, or maybe even sometimes during the week, they have other jobs they go to.
That's wild.
Yeah. So it
That's
just adds a
wild.
whole nother layer to like what do
But they
these refs
get
really be doing?
they get paid a lot
Oh,
though.
they get a nice salary too. Yeah. And that's why I think, and I always say it, why not find these guys? Like if they
Yeah.
make some of the egregious calls they make, I know they're human, so they're gonna make mistakes. But some of these calls, and with the review technology we have, it's too big and too important to be missing some of these. So like, final though, I mean, they'll eventually learn like, they need to stop doing some of this stuff because some of this stuff could be effectively taken out the game if you train them up a different way. But that one right there, that kind of set the tone for the day for the 49ers. It was kind of foretelling. We just didn't know yet. Like today is not gonna be y'all's day. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and it's gonna be a very unlucky day for y'all and the whole San Francisco fandom. And sure enough, they score that touchdown. Next drive, Brock Purdy gets hit, tears his UCL. We don't know that at the time, but he's standing on the sidelines with his helmet. They're massaging his elbow. So they bring in fourth stringer Josh Johnson, who's been on, I think this is his 11th football team, I want to say. And he leads them on a touchdown drive, and he does good. Then the Eagles scores 14-7. But then he has a fumble where he just literally drops the snap. Perfect snap. He just takes his eyes off and drops it. Eagles scored 21-7. And then after that, he gets his head dribbled into the ground. Concussion. Now he's out. And apparently Brock Purdy had told them, or the coach staff, like, hey, like, I'll go back in, but like I can't throw the ball deep, can't throw short. So at that point, they put him back in. But if they know that as coach, I would have said, you know what, like, it's probably already over. But we can't put him back out here because that just makes it completely, like, oh, we know they're running the football or throwing the screen pass because that's literally all they did. And they only threw, what, 3 screen pass? I think 2. He threw 2 passes before he got hurt and then 2 after he came back. But they were screen passes because he couldn't throw anymore. So you knew they were on the ball. At that point, you might as well run, bless you. You might as well run Wildcat with McCaffrey and Debo. Like, at least throw up some crazy looks at him, but I mean, like, that's a way, but you still can't fault him because, like I said, it's 95% sure. Like when that happens and you out of quarterbacks, the game is over, especially with the Eagles offense, man. But yeah, tough break for the 49ers. On the flip side, the Eagles, that defense, credit to them, they knocked the QBs out. Partially, that was on Shanahan, I feel like, because why did you have your backup tight end trying to block Hassan Reddick, who's second in sacks in the league this year? So defense bought out. Offense, the running game was tremendous. Jalen Hurts still looks banged up. I'll be interested to see how he fares in the Super Bowl with another week to rest and recover. But that shoulder still doesn't look right. He's not throwing the ball good. So if any early game plans, I'm thinking Spags gonna have some stuff drawn up. And I think where rookie cornerback's been playing, I think they're gonna try to make Jalen Hurts win that game. So that'll be an interesting thing to see. But man, that running attack, that's what scares me the most. Miles Sanders, Gainwell, Boston Scott, the giant killer. It don't matter. They were running the ball all over San Francisco. And they were showing some replays of some of the blocks Kelsey and Lane Johnson and was putting out. Boy, they were killing San Francisco's defensive line on some of them plays, man. So talk about that Philly running game, because that's them with Jalen Hurts. I don't know if he didn't run that much, and he didn't have to because the game was over kind of from the jump once Brock Purdy got hurt. But I mean, you add the running game with the running backs and then the possibility that, Jalen Hurts to do that too, that's a scary running attack, man. And Sirianni's got them boys balling. So touch on that.
Yeah, man. Like you said, those 3 running backs, Boston Scott, Gainwell, and Miles Sanders. I mean, they all can tote that thing. They all can run. And then you add Jalen Hurts on top of that. I mean, that's a tough. I know we was talking about the 49ers run game, but man, the Eagles run game, I feel like it's just as good. They got multiple guys that can that can run, and also all of them can catch out of the backfield too when need be. So man, y'all got you, y'all got your work cut off for sure. And it's just like if you stop the run game, then it's like okay, now you gotta stop AJ Brown. How you gonna stop AJ Brown? Then they got Devontae Smith. If you stop AJ Brown, they got Devontae Smith. So I mean, and then the O-line is crazy. It's like you can't even touch Jalen Hurts pretty much. So like I said, y'all got y'all work cut off. I'm ready to see how y'all
Our
get to
defense
that.
gonna have to come with it. They're gonna have to come with it. But I think Spag's gonna have something drawn up. Them boys, I gotta give it to them. And we can move on to our game now. Because there wasn't that much to talk about because everything that happened in the NFC Championship. But hey, INIS pod audience, quick break in the episode to possibly introduce you to another sports podcast by our friends Pint Glass Football Podcast, who bring weekly content regarding the NFL and college football topics. Gonna play a quick trailer they sent over introducing their platform, and if you're interested, definitely go give them a listen and follow if you enjoy. For our YouTube viewers, the link to their podcast will be in the description box below. And for our Spotify and Apple Music listeners, you can find their info on our Twitter at INISPod, which we will attach to the tweet that promotes this episode when it airs. Again, highly recommend go checking out Pint Glass Football Podcast. Got a lot of good content over there. But without further ado, here's the trailer introduction, and we'll get you back to our episode immediately after. Enjoy.
This is Pint Glass Football, and I'm your host, Brad Fowler. On this show, I'm going to drink beer and give you my opinions and discuss the latest news around the NFL and college football every week, from the NFL draft all the way to the Super Bowl. Not only will you hear my takes, but I'll bring on media professionals from places like ESPN, NFL Network, CBS Sports, Pro Football Focus, Yahoo Sports, and many other media outlets in order to bring you the most informative and entertaining football podcast out there. Don't believe me? Well, PGF has over 400 ratings and reviews and is ranked inside the top 1% most popular shows in the world, according to listennotes.com. The podcast is available at pintglassfootball.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. So become a member of PGF Nation and hit that follow or subscribe button right now.
Man, Spags, that's the greatest defensive performance I've seen from a Chiefs defense since we've got Patrick Mahomes. Hands down. What I tell you on the pod, man, it was going to come down to, can Chris Jones make the plays he didn't make last year? And funny enough, after the game in his post-game presser, he was saying, like, this last year's AFC Championship, letting Joe Burrow slip out of his hands on a crucial third down for a sack. He missed another one. He was saying, like, that fueled his whole offseason, and he'd been dying, to get his lick back and, perform if he got the chance again. And sure enough, we got matched up with the Bengals, repeat of last year's AFC Championship. And, man, defense came out the gates balling, sacked him, I think, 4 times the first couple drives. McDuffie, I just seen, I want to say, I think I just liked the tweet, but I seen a tweet that said McDuffie, I think he covered Chase. When he was covering Jamar Chase, he only had 1 catch for like 3 yards. Hey, McDuffie, the rookie corners, Williams.
Yeah, the other one pretty good too.
Good too. Watson got his second interception in his second playoff game. He got the one last week with the one hand off Trevor Lawrence. Like, them boys balling, and it's crazy because they're all rookies, so they here.
Yeah.
And it was really, I was scared because L'Jarius Sneed went out the first drive. Hit Samaje Perine, he out with the concussion. And I was like, well, there goes he's like our Swiss Army knife. He can play slot, corner, blitz, anything. I'm like, well, dang. Now we got all rookies versus, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd ended up going out with an injury. But yeah, man, that defense, shout out to them. Only allowed that Cincy offense 20 points. Last week only allowed Jacksonville's offense 20 points. So, hey, if they can find a way to keep Philly under 20, I got all the confidence in the world. Patrick Mahomes is going to go put up at least 21. So, if they can pull off another, masterpiece like that, man, I'm feeling real good, and I think Spags, he could do it. I mean, we talking about the guy who shut down the 07 Patriots back in the day with them Giants. So I got faith in him. One of his best called games. But on the flip side, man, offense, man. I tell y'all what I tell y'all. I know we just got done talking about, the GOAT that retired, but the GOAT in training right now, man, Patrick Mahomes. What more do you want?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What more do you have to see?
I don't know. I literally don't know. I don't know. It's the eye, bro. We always talk about the eye test. It's literally the eye. What are your eyes are telling you when you watch this man play? It's must watch TV every time Patrick Mahomes plays, bro. It's like Steph Curry. It's must watch every time he plays.
He played so well. I've been seeing conspiracy theories where people are saying his ankle wasn't really hurt. Like, we didn't just see his ankle get folded in half in Jacksonville in slow motion like 17 times during the game because they kept replaying it to show the injury. And it's a high ankle sprain. Players sometimes are out weeks, maybe months in some cases. And he goes out there on a sprain, that high ankle sprain, balls out. Then in the process, we lose McCole Hardman, who re-aggravates his pelvis injury. We lose Juju, who was bugged with a knee injury all week. He went out. And Tony Romo and Jim Nantz didn't even miss it. Like, they kept talking about we were missing McCole. Tony went out with a sprained ankle. They kept talking about that, but they failed to mention Juju went out like after the first quarter. Didn't see him. And then Justin Watson, who was our fourth-string wide receiver, didn't even play because he was sick. So we're literally down to Sky Moore, our rookie wide receiver, and Marcus Kent, the guy we just elevated from the practice squad this week. And that's who Mahomes is throwing to on crucial downs. And, of course, I can't forget my guy MVS, balled out, had his best game as a Chief yet. And how fitting was it that he was cooking Mike Hilton's sorry ass, who had the audacity to say last week that really kicked this whole week off.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
After the Bills game, I know y'all seen the clip, and you keep up with the NFL. But if you don't, after the Bengals beat the Bills in last week's divisional round, there was a clip from the mic'd up portion of all the corners on the sideline, and Mike Hilton basically the camera said, "Hey, we'll be in Burrowhead next week. I'll see y'all in Burrowhead. Y'all ain't peeped that, but Burrowhead, yeah, we're gonna see y'all there." And it's like, bro, okay, I get it. That, then Joe Mixon been talking all postseason, we the big dogs of the AFC, like teams got to go through us. We getting disrespected, but we run this. And then, of course, Eli Apple, all his talking, which he didn't talk shit necessarily to us this week, but we owed him from last year because after they won the game, he was all over Twitter getting on Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman, all them talking about Cancun, saying Cancun on 3 to Stephon Diggs last week. And then to top it off, the damn mayor had to get into it. And
that was crazy.
Once the mayor said that mess, that's when I told you, I was like, bro, I mean, I'm still nervous because it's a big game, but I was like, I know we're going to win this game. This, people say, oh, it's bulletin board material. That stuff not real. And it's like, no, bro, you don't piss off Patrick Mahomes. That's one ththing you don't do. And the crazy thing about it all is all the players was doing all this talking to mayor, but the one person who wasn't talking, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, yeah.
Because he knew better. He knew not to poke the bear, and it sucks because his teammates did it and poked the bear, got the claws. Man, Mahomes was dialed in. And that touchdown pass to MVS, which was really crucial. 13-13, 3rd down and 9, 3rd down long. At that point, field goals are not going to get it done. We need a touchdown. He runs right. And honestly, I'm going to try to just insert a clip of the play from the angle I'm talking about, where it's the back camera showing the whole field and behind Mahomes. And he runs, and he can't jump off his right that great because that's the ankle that's hurt. And I want to say Tooney is blocking the guy right in his vision. But as Mahomes is moving right before Tooney blocks vision, you see MVS break open across the middle and on a rope 27 yards. Touchdown off one leg. And it's like, if you throw that ball even a second slower, if it's not on a rope, Mike Hilton diving is going to deflect that or maybe intercept it. And honestly, live, I didn't know MVS caught it because he kind of sat there and I was like, the ball get deflected and then he holds it up and the ref signals touchdown. I was like, oh my, like, must watch TV.
Yeah.
Like, no other quarterback is making that throw in that circumstance. Like, I get A-Rod made some amazing throws. He's not making that throw.
I'm making it now.
Herbert, he's not making that throw. Josh Allen's not making that throw. Especially considered on a bum ankle. Like, it was amazing, man. It was amazing to watch. So happy my Chiefs got their lick back and, you know, can talk their shit to Cincinnati. And, of course, Cincinnati fans pissed off all over Twitter saying the game is rigged, this, that, and the third. I was like, man, come on.
Bunch of
crybabies. Y'all just was talking about Burrowhead. All the talk leading up the Dan Orlovsky shit where he talking about Burrow a better quarterback, which sparked the headlines. If Burrow wins this week, is he better than Mahomes? Now that we won and, you know, we talking shit back, they're like, man, y'all, the record's still 3-1. Okay, did y'all win this weekend? Are y'all going to Super Bowl? Do you have a Super Bowl ring? No. Does Burrow have any MVPs? No. And this was his last year of his rookie deal. He's getting a new contract. So let's see how the team changes now and how that window stays open. It's going to be an interesting offseason for them, too, because you already know Paul Brown or that Brown family, cheap as hell. But they're going to have to come up off a bag for Joe, and they're probably going to have to pay Chase, too. So it's going to be interesting to see. But how you feel watching that game? Because me personally, y'all, I was texting Cam all first half. And then once I'm glad we got the stop at halftime because I definitely thought we were about to let them get a touchdown and get the game to 3, but we held them to a field goal. But after halftime started, I turned my phone off for the rest of the game and just went ghost in the world. I was like, man, this, like, I can't even, like, my nerves were just so high watching it because I'm just like, bruh.
I was like, this man blocked me.
No, what about other homeboys got me? He's like, bro, I tried to call you before the game and you ain't answer. I was like, bro, because when business get handled, I'm off the phone. Like, I'm not trying to hear nobody talk, no outside noise. I don't want to go watch the game. No, I'm gonna be in my house watching the game in peace. And like, I just knew, like, man, we can't make any mistakes. Like, we gotta play a mistake-free game. We got Joe Burrow to, at that point, throw one interception. Like, we're on target to win this game. We just got to get some touchdown. And then Holmes has that phantom fumble where the ball slips out of his hand. I was like, oh my God. Like, that might be the game. Then we get him 4th and 6. Burrow throws a dot to Jamar Chase, and our defenders just don't look to find the ball complete. And then they score a touchdown, and it's tied 20-20. I'm like, here we go. Like,
here we go, yeah.
Like, and then, you know, it'll be Mahomes' fault because he had that fumble. But granted, Brian Cook didn't make the play on that 4th and 6, but he tipped the ball later in the game that allowed Williams to intercept Joe Burrow on one of those last drives they had with under 4 minutes left. But yeah, man, touch on your experience watching the game because, you know, from a bystander standpoint where you don't have a dog in the fight, but yeah.
Man, first I want to touch on that 3-1 record. I mean, honestly, who cares about regular season wins when, you know, these two great AFC teams, I mean, you're going to see each other in the playoffs most of the time. But, I mean, who cares about it? It's, in my opinion, it's really 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1 when it matters.
Really, when it matters is 1-1. Nobody cares about that, about those 2 wins in the regular season. But
by 3 points. All games have been decided by 3 points between us. All 4 of them. So, yeah.
It's crazy. But man, shout out to Chris Jones, man. He was the game changer. He was the X factor. I feel like he consistently got pressure on Joe Burrow, made him very uncomfortable. So yeah, shout out to him. He finally got his sack. Finally got that monkey off his back or whatever. But man, it was just early on. It was a masterclass for that Chiefs defense. I've never seen. Me personally, I don't know about you, but I've never seen y'all defense ever play
I've never
phenomenal.
I was so surprised it happens. Like, man, y'all really came to play there because I've been telling you, like, we don't, for whatever reason, we just cannot get pressure on Joe Burrow whatsoever. Like, we get pressure, but we can't sack him. And You know, if you let him be in that pocket for 3 more seconds, he's gonna find Jamar T or somebody. And they set the tone early. Shout out Frank Clark too. Frank Clark the Shark, he's now I believe second all time in playoff history with sacks. He's a beast.
He'll be.
He also had a letdown last year. He came back. His post game press conference was hilarious too. He was talking this shit. He was like, number one, he ain't do nothing. 85. He ain't do nothing. He was just crying. They were talking all that shit. I told them they're gonna have to see my ass. Last year, they didn't get the best of me. This year, I made sure they was gonna get the best Frank Clark possible. Man balled out, set the tone with the first sack, him and Willie Gay, who also got injured.
Yeah.
We got beat up this whole game and still found a way to pull out the win. But yeah, man. Defense
for sure. Like you saying, McDuffie, man, shout out to him. He only a rookie and he doing this. I mean, y'all found it. Man, y'all found a gem in him for sure. I believe he went to Washington, right? Me personally, I know everybody always say like LSU or like UT or whoever is DBU. Me personally, I believe wholeheartedly Washington is DBU for sure. Cause I mean they just bring out dogs and McDuffie, he's another dog. He's another one of Washington's products or whatever. But yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to Justin Reed. He finally he was saying he was talking shit about Hayden Hurst, huh?
Oh yeah, earlier in the season. Yeah. he ain't let no targets caught. So hey, so he backed it up.
He backed it up. All the shit he was talking, he backed it up. But shout out to him, man. A former Texan finally in the Super Bowl, man. He well deserved, man. He a good dude for sure. Like he really is a good dude, good player. But yeah, man. That y'all defense pretty much changed that whole game. Or like, I mean, they couldn't really get nothing going on the run game, pretty much.
I think because, like I said, Joe Mixon was, he had been talking smack ever since they came out with that ruling where the AFC was going to be neutral site game and they were selling tickets. So he was one of the big proponents, like feeling disrespected. I think he finished with 8 carries and 18 yards. So much for being the big dog of the AFC. If that's how you was going to perform in the AFC Championship game, got shut down.
Man, this is the way to beat Burrow though. You got to make him feel uncomfortable. You got to force turnovers because I mean he throw a lot of, not like a lot, but he throw a good amount of picks, during the regular season. But come playoff times, he's very big on like not throwing a lot. I mean, y'all got 2 off of him, so that was a big deal. But let's touch on the offensive side for them Chiefs, man. Like you said, man, I mean, I don't know what else more we can say. I don't know what more Chiefs fans can say, but at this point, it shouldn't be no disrespect towards Patrick Mahomes like at all. And it's crazy that he's still getting any type of disrespect. It's kind of like it's kind of like LeBron, like disrespect. Like he's so good that I mean, everybody has haters, but he's like so good that hating on him is just like, it's like, why are you hating on him? Like, just appreciate greatness. Like when you see it, this man's really playing on a bum ankle with backup receivers. And
5th and 6th string receivers, literally,
bro. And he's
our 5th and 6th string receiver in the game in crunch time.
And he's throwing for like 300 yards on. It's not even a mediocre defense. Like this is like a top 10, top 12 defense. And so for him to do that, throwing for over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions with 5th and 6th stringers receivers or whatnot. It's crazy to see, man. And he ended on that pretty much in the game, pretty much on that run. And that was just amazing.
I want to talk about that too, man, because look, so because he had the bump ankle, I knew he wasn't gonna run the football because usually that's when he saves his running for real is the playoffs. When, people drop 7, 8 back in coverage and it's like, okay, everybody covered, but then they forget about him and he could take off for a couple first downs here and there. So I knew he wouldn't want to do that because of his ankle, but they set his line at 9.5 yards. And I'm like, I just know it's going to come down to a point in the game where Mahomes absolutely needs it and he's going to run the football and he's going to get it. Like, I don't know what it is. He says it's just because he gets fast because he doesn't want people to catch him because he's, scared of being chased down. So it makes him run faster. But that last play of the game, I think the NFL next gen stat said he got up to 18 miles per hour,
bro,
on a bum ankle. We talking about straight adrenaline, like 15 seconds left on the play start. Let me, like, nobody's over. I got to get this first down and got it. And even before that, shout out Sky Moore. Sky Moore muffed 3 punts this year, got kicked off the punt return team. But because we lost McCall and Kadarius Toney, he was forced back in there. And I'm not going to lie, like, I knew we didn't have anybody else to be back there. But literally, when the Bengals, when Chris Jones got that sack, because for one, that whole possession before, I know we're talking about offense, but that whole possession before, because people are going to say the refs give us a game. Joe Burrow got the ball twice under 4 minutes with a chance. All he had to do was drive him down and at least get a field goal, and they could have won the game. He wasn't able to do it. And this is Burrowhead. He's supposed to be the best quarterback in the league. He still got his number one wide receivers, and he couldn't do it. Threw an interception and then punted the next time. But they go back to punt, and they show Sky Moore back there, and I'm like, oh, my God. God, please. Like, God. Like, I know he has a problem muffing, but, like, please don't let this be another time he muffs because, like, we cannot have this right now. And didn't muff it, and then for whatever reason, Cincinnati punted the ball straight down the middle. He grabs it, gets up the sideline, is able to get us to damn near midfield. I'm like, bro, once he did that, I didn't know how we were going to do it, but I was like, oh, Patrick Mahomes is going to find us. We winning this game now. Once he did that, I was in my room jumping up and down, yelling. My mom downstairs watching the game, cheering, yelling. I'm like, oh, yeah, like, this is exactly what we needed. And then 3rd and 4, Mahomes, when he had to have it, breaks out to the right, starts running, scrambling, gets the first down, 2 feet clearly out of bounds. Joseph Osai, God bless heart, because I know he was, in tears on the sideline afterward.
I feel bad for bro.
Feel bad for him, but it's a penalty, bro. Like, it's something you just can't do. They've called that all season, and especially when it's a quarterback, you're gonna get that call. People kept saying, like, oh, Mahomes flopped. Like, you can't end the game on that type of call. It's like, bro, he literally elbowed him in his back, and he was clearly already out of bounds. If he doesn't do that, then yeah, we might not be able to win the game there, and we might lose in overtime because going overtime because the wind was so bad in the game, like kickers couldn't kick past 50 yards. But that extra 15 gave it boosted us up enough where Butker could get it. But I mean, even when he did it, you could see the reaction on the side. The Bengals knew it wasn't a fluke. Like Zach Taylor, like, oh damn, like that's it. One of the tight ends, Wilcox, on side, literally just put his head in his hands like this. And then Mike Hilton was literally standing there because he was also trying to play. He's like, why the hell would you do that? It was the right call. And it sucks. That's the way the game ended. But, like, you got to be smarter than that. Mm-hmm. And sadly, Osai will have to live for that for the rest of his life. I mean, dude played a hell of a game. He was all over.
Yeah, he had a good-ass game. Yeah.
It was a good game. And Pratt, he apologized, but Pratt, they got video of Pratt, linebacker for the Bengals, coming in the locker room afterwards saying, like, why the hell you hit the quarterback, man? It's like, that's messed up for one. But the drive before that, even though we didn't capitalize, Pratt was the one when we threw the little bubble pass to Pacheco, and he had him wrapped up for the first down, and Pacheco just busted out of it and ended up getting a first down, like 10 more yards. Like, dude, if you make the tackle there, maybe that changes the game. Like, you never know. Like, the game doesn't come down to one play. And then, of course, Cincy fans posted screenshots saying Orlando Brown held on the Patrick Mahomes scramble. And then literally former NFL offensive lineman Jeff Schwartz, Mitchell Schwartz, Kyle Long on their podcast literally breaking it down and why that's not how the rulebook goes. And it's like, you can pick screenshots throughout the game for both sides all game long and be like, oh, that's a hold. Refs
Yeah.
weren't calling it. There's like 5 screenshots I've seen of Chris Jones literally getting choked and no holding call or Frank Clark, and it's like, bro, y'all can't blame the game on that. And then the only other gripe, which it was bad, but it wasn't wrong, is that 3rd and 9 where we had the 3rd and 9, didn't get it, and then they ended up walking off the field and the refs brought us back. They literally showed on camera the ref running onto the field. No one noticed him. I don't know why he wasn't able to blow a whistle or get someone's attention.
You couldn't hear because of the goddamn Burrowhead.
That's what I'm saying. Burrowhead. Like, y'all want to talk all the minute. It's Burrowhead. Well, that's how loud Burrowhead gets. You can't hear shit in there. Like, the place is rocking. So if y'all gonna call it Burrowhead, don't get mad at the ramifications of what Burrowhead actually is. That's Arrowhead Stadium for you, baby. Those fans are loud as hell. And so they end up calling the playback. Then Eli Apple gets a holding call, which it was a holding call. He literally grabbed MVS's nameplate when he tried to break out for his route. But then we end up getting a penalty, and Mahomes got sacked. We literally punted the ball from the same spot still. Gave the ball right back to the Bengals. They had every opportunity in the world to win this game, but literally the Chiefs outplayed them. We had more yards. We had more sacks. We had more first down. Like, we outplayed them in every facet of the game. Joe Burrow, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. He's a great quarterback, but he played a bad game. 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown with his Grant. I know Tyler Boyd was out, but that's wide receiver 3. You have 2 wide receiver 1s in T and Jamar. Still couldn't get it done. Like, come on. And that's the other thing that pissed me off, because the whole week, nobody's even talked about it, really. Nobody's even came out and said, Joe Burrow played a bad game. Because Lord knows if we would have lost and that Mahomes fumble would have been the last memory people had, and, you know, us not being able to drive and get points after that, they would have been tearing down Mahomes and saying Burrow's the best, even though he threw 2 interceptions still. Like,
bro, they did the same thing. It irks my nerves because they did the same thing to Pat last year when he had a bad game versus the Bengals, and everybody
he still outplayed Burrow in that game technically too.
Literally, but
he just had a bad second half and we didn't score, but he still had better stats.
And that was the talk of the week that week. Well, Pat didn't look like Pat in that second half or whatever, because the defense coordinator, whatever, from the Bengals, he switch up stuff. But that was literally the whole talk last year. After that game, that Pat didn't show up in the second half or whatever. But literally Joe Burrow didn't show up the whole game, and no one's talking about it. I wonder why.
I wonder why. I mean, it is what it is, man. But, like, at the end of the day, he got outplayed by the better quarterback, the best quarterback in the league. Like you said, it shouldn't be no debate anymore. It shouldn't even be brought up. And that's regardless of what happens in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. Point blank period, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, especially now since Brady's gone. Like, he's better than Brady at this point, but, people will still throw that argument out there because Brady in the Super Bowls and he's beat Pat in the playoffs. But Brady's now officially gone. It's Patrick Mahomes, and then you can have the argument about everybody else. And right now, Joe Burrow probably deserves the number 2 spot, and you can argue some other guys against him, but Patrick Mahomes is in a league of his own, and it's not a debate. But, of course, commentators came out this week to start off. I knew they were already going to be on BS. Well, Patrick Mahomes, what did we expect? Like,
what?
every analyst picked us to lose.
Yeah.
And I granted, like, they thought his ankle too, but they were literally saying, like, since he's the better team, they're gonna win this game. And we can't trust, Patrick Mahomes will be his true self with his ankle. And he still balled out on a bum ankle, and he still didn't get props. All they said was like, oh, we knew they were gonna do it. We knew he would play good. No, you didn't. Yeah. And then you didn't bash Burrow for his bad game. Skip Bayless literally came up. The first line he said on his show after Shannon got done talking was, I'm going to explain to you why Joe Burrow slightly outplayed Patrick Mahomes. What? 5th and 6th string receivers, bum ankle, 320 yards, 2 touchdowns, making the game-winning run essentially on the bum ankle. Come on, man. Like, I get it. You have to hate him because he's the closest thing to knocking off your boy Brady. But cut the bullshit, man. Cut the bullshit. And
I just want to say one last thing, man. You know, like I said, he's gonna have haters and stuff like that. But for me to not even hate on him, it's like appreciate great. You know what this man did to my franchise? And for me not to be like, I don't think people understand. Like, I'm a Texas fan, and this man literally destroyed our franchise. Like, he broke that franchise. He broke that franchise up. Now, he did it, but it was really Bill O'Brien. But I mean,
the comeback shattered.
The comeback
everything.
really, shattered everything. Pissed JJ Watt off the next season.
Got rid of D-Hop.
Yeah, Deshaun didn't want to be there no more. I mean, after that game, that literally broke up pretty much, our little run we had with our little team, whatever. But for me not to hate on him, and he did that to my franchise, and I can still appreciate greatness when I freaking see it, bro. Like, just come on, man. Just appreciate what he's doing. Nobody has ever, like, the shit he's doing, the passes he's making, like, nobody is like doing what he's doing. And like, it's so frustrating to like see it. It's like, I'll always bring up LeBron because I feel like it's like literally the same. They get the same hate, and it's like the things LeBron is doing, even at this age, what he's doing, like, you won't ever see anybody do that in any league. Like, any league, you won't ever see it. But the shit Patrick Mahomes is doing at this age, you won't see it, bro. You just won't. You won't ever see it.
5 seasons. He's been in the league for 6. He coursed out his career. 5 seasons. He's hosted 5 straight AFC championships. It's never been done before.
In a row. That's tough to
in
do.
A row.
Okay, you remember when Deion Sanders was he was saying, "I am swag," bro. Patrick Mahomes is AFC. He is the AFC. No,
like, he's 100% in his career for AFC championship to make it to the AFC championship game so far, and he's 60% in the Super Bowls now. 3 out of the 5, he's now been in the Super Bowl, and it's like, I think the Patriots have the record. They made it to 8 straight, but they didn't host all of them. But I mean, obviously, we can't tell the future, and you can always have a year where a team just get injury riddled. But I mean, as of right now, there's nothing telling me that we won't be back in that same position possibly for the next couple years. And it's like, what more do you want to see? Like, this man got bashed all. Just take it back to last year, because last year the defenses figured him out. He threw for 4,800 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. And these analysts got up here and said this was his worst year, and that defenses figured him out, and he's no longer a top. They were saying he's not even a top 5 quarterback. I think was it Sam Acho, Emmanuel's brother, literally had a list in the beginning of the season talking about, oh yeah, he's not top 5. Herbert is better in his own division. Russell Wilson is better in his own division. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? Then we lose Tyreek Hill. People like Barca, oh, the Chiefs won't even make the playoffs.
A lot of people saying that.
And it's like, nobody talked about our wide receiver core. Because they thought it was trash. And now, after Mahomes is now thrown for over 5,000 yards, 41 touchdowns, ran another 4 in, it's like, oh, we knew he would do this. He's got Travis Kelce. He's got Andy Reid. And it's like, no, bro. Like, I know obviously I'm biased, but I've been watching the Chiefs. For my 24 years of life, I'll say, though, the first season I can properly remember was the 03 season when we had Priest Holmes, Gonzalez, Dante Hall, Trent Green, and we were cold. I think we went 13-3 that year. Divisional round, we had the bye. Peyton Manning comes to town. They did not force Peyton Manning to punt the ball not one time, and we lost the game. And I hadn't seen us win a playoff game my whole life until we beat y'all in Houston that one year. But then we went and got smacked by Brady the next week. I seen the 28-point choke versus the Colts and Andrew Luck. Seen the Steelers beat us with nothing. They beat us with 5 field goals in one playoff game. Then I seen Mariota throw a touchdown pass to himself and come back 21-3. The last season we had Alex Smith. I've seen it all. Like, yes, Andy Reid is great, Hall of Fame. Yes, Travis Kelce arguably might go down as the greatest tight end ever, Hall of Fame. This does not get done without Patrick Mahomes. Like, he is him. Like, let's stop trying to fight it. Just accept it and just appreciate what you're watching, because you're seeing stuff that has literally not been done before. And I'm just hoping and praying, like, he's able to pull off. Like I've been saying, like from day one, and I'm gonna get some video clips together, and hopefully I can post, my little video, like showing, all the stuff we said on this podcast leading up all year. But like I've been saying this since day one. You said it too. This is gonna be the best year we've ever seen from him, and it's gonna be a legacy year because everybody doubted him for whatever reason. Like I just told you, the 4,800 yards, 37 touchdowns, worst season ever. That's a quarterback's career year,
bro.
Like Josh Allen is never even had a season that good, and people are trying to anoint him as the best quarterback, and then lose Tyreek Hill. They're saying, oh, he won't be anything. Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the league. People are saying Justin Herbert, isn't or is better than him in his own division. Beat Justin Herbert, that conversation goes away. But Josh Allen beats us in the regular season, which they did last year. And people run with, oh, Bills are going to go to the Super Bowl, yada, yada, yada. You see they get bounced early by the Bengals. Midway through the season, it becomes, well, even though Patrick Mahomes leads the league in every single passing stat, we think Jalen Hurts might be MVP. Granted, I'm not knocking Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts had an amazing season. But they said that. Then when Jalen Hurts gets hurt, now it's like, oh, should we be taking a look at Joe Burrow? Oh, Joe Burrow beat him again. Joe Burrow's a better quarterback than him. And if they win this final game, Joe Burrow might be the best quarterback in the league. It's like, no, man. This dude literally about to secure his second MVP next week. He's going to have a chance to get his second Super Bowl MVP and his second Super Bowl ring, all within 5 years of playing. So, yeah, Tom Brady might have had 3 rings start off his career, but he wasn't the Tom Brady we know now. Patrick Mahomes will have the rings and the stats. Like, he's literally doing everything. And it's a crazy run. And it's going to be crazy to look back on this one day and see, like, just knowing, because we're living through it, knowing that real hate he gets. But it's going to be interesting when it gets further down the line and people look back and start trying to praise him. It's like, he wasn't even getting all of this praise. Like, people were finding every avenue to hate on him. But, yeah, man, like, it's greatness. It's literally greatness. Like, what more do you want for real? Yeah, you can't possibly want nothing else.
I don't know what more, man. The greatest. I don't know. You might not say it, but I'm gonna always say it, bro. This the greatest quarterback ever.
Greatest quarterback ever.
I'm giving that stamp already. It's the greatest quarterback ever.
And honestly, you can make the argument. I mean, I was really already trying to make the argument way before this season even started. You kind of got me about it. But yeah. I would always say he's already Hall of Fame. But now, honestly, you can low-key, I mean, if he gets this Super Bowl, then it really stamps it. But you can honestly make it, he's already a top 5 quarterback of all time. Right now, I give Brady and Montana over him. And I'll put Peyton Manning over him right now. But if Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl, I throw him over Peyton Manning already. Because he's got the hardware Peyton Manning had, and he's got the Super Bowls, but he's done it in. Peyton Manning got his second Super Bowl season, 18, the year he retired? And that made him the 4th quarterback with multiple Super Bowl and multiple regular season MVPs. Patrick Mahomes joins that list if he wins this or in 2 weeks. Or I guess really a week and a half, because this the end of the week already. But
would you put Drew Brees in the top 5?
Nah, I got Drew Brees in the top 10, maybe top 12, but just because he got all the stats, he just don't got the hardware, which sucks because he probably should have some more hardware. Got robbed of some MVPs, got robbed of some chances at other Super Bowls, but I wouldn't put him top 5. I put Brady, Montana, Peyton Manning. I guess right now I go Mahomes at 4. Probably John Elway, 5. 6. Probably Steve Young, maybe. 7, Drew Brees. And it's tough because, like, I'm just going off, like, some of those players, obviously, we weren't able to watch. We weren't born yet. But, they're true old heads. They'll throw in, like, the Johnny Unitas and all them and Staubach.
You forgot about somebody.
Who did I forget?
Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know, man. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers could be 8. I mean, he's definitely probably the second most talented we've ever seen behind Patrick, but just the way he carried himself throughout his career and like some of the things he did. Some of it's not all his fault. The Packers definitely played their part in ruining his career. But some of the things he's done too, like this year, I think I saw an interview the other day with Romeo Dobbs. He was like, I never hung out with Aaron Rodgers not one time off the field. Like, you can't do that.
He a weird dude.
He weird dude, and it cost him on the field. So, yeah, man, we could definitely we'll revisit this convo, after Super Bowl, and we can, have a little ranking show. But yeah, that touches on the conference championships. Like I said, we're gonna get to the Super Bowl talk heavy next week with our guy Cam. Early gut feeling, man. There's so many headlines going in this game. Of course, Andy Reid versus Philly. The Kelsey brothers, the first brothers that played each other in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes' legacy. Jalen Hurts, the first pair of black QBs to face each other in the Super Bowl. Sirianni used to be on our coaching staff back in the day.
Got fired by Andy Reid.
Yeah,
I know he wants this.
Hey, it's a whole lot of storylines, and Philly has got talent all over the place. It's gonna depend. Like I said, we got banged up. Everybody injured. Yeah, it's good we got a week off. We'll see how many of them we can get back. I don't know about McCole because he re-aggravated the injury that's been keeping him out all season. So I don't know if we'll be able to see him. I'm hoping Kadarius Toney can go and Juju can go because we definitely going to need them. But my gut feeling is our defense is going to come ready to play. Spags is going to have something dialed up for Jalen Hurts that he hasn't seen. It's going to be a tough one, but I think we're going to be able to pull it out, and it's going to start like the season Brady retires. Mahomes, the mantle's already his, but with a second Super Bowl MVP, I think he officially takes the mantle, and then that really deads conversation for at least until one of these other young quarterback projects can even get a Super Bowl ring. That we can even start talking about comparisons again. But I really think this is written. Like, people say it's scripted, whatever, whoop-de-doo. Like, I've been saying this since the beginning. I told y'all, Mahomes going in that MVP curse where the MVP can't win Super Bowl. Like, he going to do it all. And he going to ball out in a year. We lost Tyreek Hill. We weren't supposed to be able to be this good. Got 7 rookies starting on defense all year. They're just going to find a way to win, and Andy Reid's going to get the job done. I think they're going to have a great game call. But that's just my early gut feeling. Of course, I want to see my Chiefs win, but definitely it's going to be a tough matchup. And say we do lose, knock on wood again, I wouldn't be mad that it was to Jalen Hurts. I'd love to see him get a Super Bowl. Like I said, I think on one of our first episodes, I always said, because I thought we would be playing the Ravens at this point to go to the Super Bowl. And I was like, if we lose to Lamar, I wouldn't be mad at that. But, hey, man, I want us to win. I think we will. I hope we will. But definitely got a tough opponent. Like I said, we'll touch on all that. I've already got a few bets lined up, sprinkled on some of the exact score props just because it's some crazy odds. So if I can luck out and hit that, turn $5 into $2,000, we'll see. But y'all gonna have to tune in to the next episode for that. But what's your initial gut feeling with the Super Bowl matchup?
Bro, I'm really torn. And I know I picked the Chiefs. I'm gonna stick with the Chiefs because that's what my gut is telling. But bro, you can the things that the Eagles are doing is it's crazy, and y'all are just so banged up. I don't know. It's gonna be tough to hang with them pretty much, but I think your offense will be okay.
Yeah, because I get they got a great defense, but they had to go up against Daniel Jones and the 49ers with no quarterback.
Yeah.
The last good offense they played was the Cowboys, and they put up 40 on them.
Yeah.
So I think Andy can have stuff dialed up, and we can put some points on them. And how would they respond? Because they haven't had to do that all postseason. How would they respond if we could put their backs on the wall? I don't know.
I think it's gonna be. I think the over is 51. I think the over is gonna hit. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game.
I was thinking that. I've been thinking that all week, and then I was watching some ESPN betting show earlier today. That's the one thing that doesn't. We got Carl Cheffers reffing this game. That's the guy you remember me talking about from the Houston game. He refed our Texans game this year, and he refed the Raiders game. Both games we had double-digit penalties. Apparently, in his 12 games this year, I think I saw 11 of them have went under.
Oh, damn.
So if I want an early lean, I don't know. But yeah, over under 51. And I think on BetUS, we're plus 2.5, but I've seen lines as low as we're plus 1.5 underdog. So hey, Mahomes is an underdog to the Super Bowl. I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think your offense will be okay. Now, I'm very interested to see how y'all gonna stop this run game, though.
Oh yeah, I'm interested too. We're gonna need Willie Gay and Nick Bolton for that. So hopefully Willie Gay can get healthy. But I mean, we did just shut down Cincinnati run game, who was looking pretty good. I know that's obviously a whole different team, but I mean, I'm just have to put my trust in Spags. I think them boys ready. Like I just think like they've been disrespected all year. No one has believed in us, and then after we do it, they say they believe in it, but everybody keep counting us out for whatever reason. Like we haven't proved it the last 5 years that we're the best team in the NFL, even though you might not win the Super Bowl every year. Like we're always in the combo. So I think the team just come fired up, ready to play.
And that's another thing. Y'all got experience. I mean, obviously it's some guys on the Eagles, they got experience too, but I feel like the experience, like that group with the Chiefs, kind of like they've been there before. Like, you know, they've been through the fire. Like they seen how you got to play to win a Super Bowl. So yeah. I think if y'all do win, I think experience is definitely going to matter over like Jalen Hurts. He obviously hasn't been there before, but yeah, I think experience is probably going to be a big key in this one.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, and it kind of helps that the last time we were in this game, we got our teeth kicked in, so we got a salty taste left in our mouth about that. They're going to want to right those wrongs. I know it. I know Patrick Mahomes, he's been itching to get another shot at a Super Bowl since then, and he's got his opportunity to strike. I think he's going to strike. And I think even though people keep saying like, man, just double Kelsey, do this, do that. Eagles got a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know who they have that's going to be able to hold Kelsey.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean,
I don't know,
you can do what you want. He's going to find a way to get open. Like, it just is what it is. It's a Hall of Fame talent paired up with another Hall of Fame talent and a Hall of Fame head coach. I mean, I know there's more to what goes into the game, but for the most part, if you got a Hall of Fame head coach and a Hall of Fame quarterback, it's kind of hard to beat that duo. That's what made Brady and Belichick so good in that 20-year run. So hopefully, we get the Super Bowl win, and hopefully Andy stays with us for at least another 10 years so in Patrick Mahomes' career, and we're able to run it up. But yeah, man, definitely excited. Can't wait. Obviously got this week off, and then Super Bowl Sunday, February 12th. Like I said, we'll have a Super Bowl special episode with Cam. Maybe we can get on Chris. Maybe we can get on Cam Davis. Who knows? But yeah, man, that'll be next week. So stay tuned. Hope y'all enjoyed the recap of the conference championships this week. Any Bengals fans listening, ha 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 ha, because y'all was talking way too much shit all week. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a great Super Bowl. It's gonna be a great Super Bowl. Can't wait. And then you already heard some of our early kind of leans and some stuff we've already picked out for the betting lines. But yeah, man. Stay tuned. It's gonna be a great episode next week, man. It's gonna get active on that one for sure. Me and Ken was going back and forth in the group chat all night after the game finished. So we're gonna be on one for sure.
Well, one thing, this my one last thing, it's my slogan. Shut your mouth and know your role, you jabroni.
Yeah, shout out my boy Travis Kelce. Burrow had my ass. Man. This is Mahomes' house. Man.
Mahomes' house. You gotta fight for your right to party.
The party.
I can't wait for that. I hope they get Pat and Jalen Hurts on the podcast, bro. Because that's gonna be something to see.
Yeah, they I just watched their podcast today. I think they're gonna bring on some family members later this week, and then they're gonna have another episode next week, like during Super Week. So I'm definitely itching to see that. I know it's gonna be a good one, man. But yeah. Super Bowl Sunday, man. Chiefs, Eagles. I need it.
Yes, sir.
It's another episode, man. We out.
I need it.